dear devotees. Welcome to Krishna Kathamritam program. This is our Janmashtami pre-celebration program where devotees will read Lord Krishna's pastimes and present the story to us and the narration and the beautiful uh, their understanding and realizations. And today is the last day of Krishna Kathamritam. It's a day 5. And the next is the most auspicious day, which is Janmashtami. It is going to be on August 30th. More details coming up in the end of the program. Today, we have 4 fantastic devotee families who will be presenting the stories of Lord Krishna. First, we will get started with Suvarna Manjari Mataji. Mataji will be presenting from chapter 10, The Deliverance of Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. Hare Krishna, Suvarna Manjari Mataji. Over to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. And also big thanks to Veena Mataji, who does so much for the congregation by being the MC for every program. And it's so heartwarming for all the service you do. So first I want to thank you and Satyasar Prabhu and Radha Damodar Prabhu, who are like the pillars of our temple. So without further delay, I will get into what I have wanted to share today. This is a very, very sweet story, the deliverance of Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. And it's also sweet because this happened in the Kartik month, and we all enjoy the Kartik month so much. And at the end of this, I will also connect it back to how we pray in this form to Lord Krishna in the month of Kartik. So first, I want to start off with, do we understand and do we know how the curse of a pure devotee of Lord Krishna can turn auspicious? So this is what the story is about. This is a story of Nala Kuvera and Manigriva and their deliverance by Krishna under the all blissful desire of the great sage Narada. Narada is, as we know, is such a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna, and even a curse from Narada can be so beneficial to us. So the story goes this way. There were 2 great demigods, Nala Kuvera and Manigriva, who were sons of the treasurer of demigods, Kubera. And, it's in some parts of India, it's called Kuber. In some parts of India, they call Kubera. And Kuvera was also a great devotee of Lord Shiva. And by the grace of Lord Shiva, Kuvera's material opulence had no limit. In Hindi, when somebody has surplus, they say, oh, you have Kuber ka khazana, because khazana means treasury, and Kuber is for Kuvera. So I'm very used to hearing that. But what this is saying is, by the mercy of the Lord, his material opulence has no limit. He was, and as we know, he's the treasurer, so he has all the wealth. But also, it is because of the mercy of Lord Krishna, and he worshipped Lord Shiva, so due to that mercy. So as a rich man's sons often become, and not just sons, children often become addicted to bad habits, Kuvera's sons, Nala Kuvera and Manigriva, were also addicted to wine and women. So they were no exception to what we see even in today's day and age. So once these 2 demigods, desiring to enjoy, entered the garden of Lord Shiva in the province of Kailash on the bank of the Mandakini Ganges. And they started having intoxicating drinks and engaged in the sweet singing of beautiful women who accompanied them in fragrant gardens. So this is just, as Srila Prabhupada has had such a beautiful art of drawing a picture with his words. So this is just giving us the picture. And there's one picture here also, which you can see of how they were enjoying. While they were enjoying themselves in water, all of a sudden, the great sage Narada happened to pass that way. The 2 demigod sons of Kuvera were so intoxicated that they could not appreciate the presence of the sage Narada and did not cover their bodies. And even though, you could understand how they were behaving, the women there were very embarrassed with the situation. So they immediately did whatever it could to keep themselves in a respectful way in front of the great sage Narada. So on seeing the two demigods so degraded by intoxication, Narada his desire was welfare for these demigods. And therefore, he exhibited his causeless mercy by cursing them. So when a pure devotee curses you, it is mercy. Likewise, we say when our teachers chastise us, it is their mercy on us. So the sage Narada cursed the two demigods, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, that they should remain for 100 years in the time of demigods in the form of trees. And after that, they will be fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. So thus, and after that, they would again be promoted to the life of demigods, and they will become great devotees of the Lord. So after this, after cursing them, Narada returned to his abode, and the two demigods turned into what we know as the twin Arjuna trees. So this was, now we go back. So this is how the curse happened. Now we fast forward 100 demigod years, and we enjoy Krishna Leela, Krishna Katha in Vrindavan. So here, when Krishna was a small child and he was being naughty, this was the month of Kartik. He was tied up to a wooden mortar by Mother Yashoda. Okay. And while he was tied up, he began to proceed towards the twin trees in order to fulfill the prophecy of his great devotee, Narada. Lord Krishna knew that Narada was his great devotee, and the trees standing before him as Arjuna trees were actually sons of Kuvera. Lord Krishna thought, I must now fulfill the words of my pure devotee Narada. He proceeded through the passage between the two trees. Although he was able to pass through the passage, the wooden mortar, which was tied to him, Damodar, which was tied around his belly, got stuck horizontally between the trees. Now we know how powerful Krishna is. So taking advantage of this, with his great strength, Lord Krishna began to pull the rope, which was tied to the mortar, and he pulled the two trees with all their branches and limbs falling down to the ground with a great sound. Out of the broken fallen trees came two beautiful personalities who were shining like blazing fire. All sides became illuminated with the beauty of with their beautiful presence. The two purified personalities immediately came before baby Krishna and bowed down and offered their respects and prayers. When the demigods Nalakuvera and Manigriva finished their prayers, the child, Lord Krishna, who is the master and proprietor of Gokul, who was bound to a wooden mortar with ropes, which Mother Yashoda tied, smiled at them. It was already, he said, it was already known to me that my great devotee Narad Muni has shown his causeless mercy by saving you from the abominable condition of pride due to possessing extraordinary beauty and opulence in the family of demigods. So not only were they very opulent, they were very beautiful also. But what this did to them is they became so proud that they were disrespectful to a great sage like Narada. So Lord Krishna knows everything. Narada has saved you from gliding down into the lowest condition of hellish life. So what we are learning from here is that curse of Narada for them to be in the form of Arjuna trees for so many years was so that they don't fall down to hellish life. And they got this opportunity. All these facts are already known to me. You are very fortunate because not only were you cursed by Narada, you had the great opportunity to see him. If someone is able to by chance see face to face a great saintly person like Narada, who is always serene and merciful to everyone, then immediately that conditioned soul becomes liberated. This is exactly like being situated in full light of the sun. There cannot be any visionary impediment. Therefore, O Nalakuvera and Manigriva, your lives have now become successful because you have developed ecstatic love for me. This is your last birth within material existence. Now you can go back to your father's residence in heavenly planets. And by remaining in the attitude of devotional service, you will be liberated in this very life. What a great curse and what a great blessing. So once Lord Krishna blessed them, the demigod circumambulated the Lord many times and bowed down before him again and again. And you know, one small detail here is when two big Arjuna tree fell on the ground, they made a huge sound. So everybody in Gokul came around to see what was happening. And the children who were playing there, they actually saw Krishna do this, but the grown-ups in Gokul said, no, how can Krishna, a small baby, do this? So this is how the story played out. And I'm going to close it out by talking about that verse in, hold on, my screen sharing. The verse in Damodarashtakam, which we sing. So this is just closing, and this verse reminds us always of the story. Kuveratma jau badha mutaiva yadvat tvaya muchitau bhakti bhajau kritau cha tatha prema bhaktim shvakam me prayacha namo kshigraho mesti damodareha. O Lord Damodar, in your form as a baby, Mother Yashoda bound you to a grinding stone with a rope for tying cows. You then freed the sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvera, who were cursed to stand as trees, and you gave them a chance to become your devotees. Please bless me in the same way. I have no desire for liberation into your effulgence. Krishna Katha ki jai, Krishna Janmashtami ki jai.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Oh, that was such a beautiful narration, Mataji. Thank you so much. It's always so amazing to hear a Damodar Leela, and especially hearing it just before Janmashtami brings so much auspiciousness, and you totally brought that auspiciousness, Mataji. That was really beautiful, and the recitation of the Damodarashtakam, the verse, was just so beautiful and melodious. Thank you, Mataji, for such a wonderful presentation. Devotees, next, Rohini Mataji will be presenting. Mataji will be presenting the story of subduing Kaliya. It's from chapter 16.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, I'll share my screen. Hare Krishna.
Sure, Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you, Satyasara Prabhu, Jai Subhadra Mataji and Veena Mataji for giving this opportunity for my purification. I will be narrating Kaliya's pastime and sharing some realizations. So in Vrindavan, it was summer season, and one day Krishna went with his friends to the bank of river Yamuna. Usually Lord Balram always accompanied Krishna, but when that day it happened to be Lord Balram's appearance day, so he stayed home to give some charity to Brahmanas and perform some rituals. Krishna went with cowherd boys and cows to the forest. While playing in the field, the boys and cows became very thirsty and went to river Yamuna to drink some water. In the river Yamuna, there was a lake which was inhabited by serpent Kaliya. The lake was poisoned due to the venom of the great serpent Kaliya. And due to the vapors of poison, even birds flying over the contaminated lake would fall down and die. Also, the grass near bank of the river Yamuna had all dried up, and up to 8 miles there was no vegetation, because by coming in contact with poison breeze, all vegetations and creatures on the shore had died. And when Gopas and cowherd boys drank that water, the boys immediately fell down, and the cows, they also drank that water and they also fell down and died. When Krishna saw his dear friends, cows and calves dead, he mercifully glanced on them, and they immediately became alive by Krishna's glance. When Lord Krishna saw how Kaliya serpent had polluted the Yamuna river with his poison, he tightened his waist belt, tied back the locks of his hair as he prepared to do battle with Kaliya. He climbed to the top of Kadamba tree and jumped into the poisonous lake, and the water in the lake was very deep. When Lord was performing this Leela, he had just turned 6 years old. And when Lord jumped into the water, the river overflooded and splashed to a distance of 100 yards as if something heavy has fallen in it. Lord, even as a 6-year-old, is all powerful. Lord is the reservoir of all strength. Lord was fearlessly sporting in the water. He was splashing water with his lotus hands, and this producing wonderful musical sound within the water. This disturbed Kaliya, as he was intolerant and territorial by nature. He immediately arrived at the scene, and he looked at Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, who was looking very delicate, wearing yellow silken garment, his body was shining like a glowing white cloud. His chest was bearing the mark of Srivatsa. The Lord's face was beautiful, smiling, and his feet resembled the whirl of lotus flower. Pure devotees aspire to see this form, and they do many tapasya and austerity to drink this nectar. But despite of having great fortune of looking at this wonderful form of Lord, Kaliya, because of his envious nature, he couldn't recognize Lord, and he couldn't taste the beautiful nectar of Lord's beauty. Instead, he bit the Lord in the chest and then completely wrapped Krishna's delicate form in his coils. He tried to squeeze Krishna, but Krishna just smiled and remained motionless. Krishna was the life and soul of all cowherd community. So when her cowherd boys saw their dearest friend Krishna in the grip of Kaliya, lying motionless, they became greatly disturbed and fell to the ground unconscious. They couldn't see Krishna like that. The cow and calves also became overwhelmed with grief, and they began to look at him with great anxiety. They were crying in agony, and some were shocked and looking towards Krishna with fear. Many bad omens started to happen in Vrindavan at the same time. So Vrajavasis, they felt that Krishna must be in danger, as Balram did not accompany him that day when he went to the forest. So Brajvasis, being simple-hearted and they loved Krishna dearly, they were unaware of his great power. They immediately rushed out of village to look for Krishna. But Lord Balram was smiling. He was smiling and he said nothing, as he knew about the extraordinary powers of Lord Krishna. They hurried along the path to the bank of the Yamuna river by following the footprints of Krishna. The footprints of Krishna that had special marks like lotus flower, barley corn, elephant, goat, flag, thunderbolt. When they reached the Kaliya lake, they saw Lord Krishna was motionless, wrapped within coils of giant black serpent Kaliya. All the cowherd boys had fallen unconscious, and the animals were standing on the side crying for Krishna. When Brajvasis saw all this, they were in intense grief and they were overwhelmed seeing this situation. The young gopis, they were burning with great sorrow, and they were remembering Krishna's loving friendship and smiling glances. Elderly gopis were consoling Mother Yashoda, who was about to give her life, and keeping her alive by telling pastimes of Lord Krishna. But their eyes were fixed upon Krishna's face. Cowherd men and Nanda Maharaj started to enter the serpent's lake, ready to give their life to save Krishna. They all love Krishna so dearly. Seeing this, Balram immediately stopped all the cowherd boys. He tried to talk to some and tried to explain them, and he just held some physically, and he made sure that no one entered that poisonous lake. Because they loved Krishna so unconditionally, so they all were heartbroken seeing this, and their emotions were not based on the bodily consciousness. It was not just due to feeling sad for Krishna, but they have pure love for Krishna. Their anxiety and emotions were transcendental. They didn't pray for their children. They also saw that their children are also lying unconscious, and they were ready to enter the river, and they were ready to give their own lives because they didn't care for anything else but Krishna. So if you see in this pastime, children and cowherd boys were always protected by Lord. Even they didn't pray, but Krishna always protected them. Krishna was also enjoying seeing the love of Brajvasis that intensified due to the separation from Krishna. Krishna could see their love intensified, so he was also feeling very satisfied because of that. And then when he saw them in acute distress, then Krishna couldn't take that, because Krishna was in a coil almost for 2 to 3 hours. So when Krishna saw that Brajvasis were almost at the curb of leaving their bodies, then Krishna came out of the bondage by expanding himself. When Kaliya saw Krishna coming out of his grip, he was in great anger and he raised his hood. He was breathing heavily. His nostrils appeared like vessels for cooking poison, and he was staring Krishna with his fiery eyes. Lord Krishna circled around him skillfully that Kaliya couldn't bite him. Kaliya was trying to chase Lord Krishna. Krishna boarded on Kaliya's hood. His lotus feet looked red by the touch of the numerous jewels on the serpent head. Lord Krishna, who is the master of art, with glowing reddish feet, began to dance on unsteady moving serpent's hood. Krishna dance gave pleasure to all, especially young gopis. Kaliya had 101 prominent heads, and Krishna tried to dance on all of them. Whenever a head didn't bow down and it came up to bite Krishna, Krishna smashed that head with his lotus feet. Kaliya was feeling extreme pain and misery, but Krishna was blissfully dancing on heads of Kaliya. Demigods played musical instruments as the Lord danced and showered flowers, and the dance became even more enjoyable to watch. Entire atmosphere became artistic. Lord Krishna's wonderful and powerful dance broke Kaliya's 1,000 hoods. Earlier, Kaliya was vomiting poison because of the Krishna dancing powerfully on Kaliya. But later, blood started to come from his mouth. Thus, he was cleansed of the contamination in his heart that manifested in form of venom. Kaliya remembered his wife's advice. When he was started to suffer, he remembered how his wives, who were the devotees of the Lord, always worshipped Krishna. And Kaliya, remembering that advice, took shelter of Lord Krishna. Earlier, when Krishna was dancing on the hoods, his wife didn't interfere because he was getting punished for the demoniac activities that Kaliya performed. But when they saw that he manifested the symptoms of humility, he was ready to surrender, and he was feeling regret. They thought how fortunate we are that our husband has become a Vaishnava, and now we must protect him. So they approached the Lord along with their children and asked for their husband's liberation. Krishna released Kaliya and told him to retreat in ocean and leave river Yamuna. And he restored river Yamuna to its original condition by Lord Krishna's mercy. Krishna finally came out of water of Yamuna. He was decorated by jewels, and Brajvasis felt great relief. They were so happy, as if they have achieved the ultimate goal of their life. So in this pastime, it's a beautiful, beautiful pastime of Lord Krishna. As we see, Krishna Kathamritam is all about the sweetness of the Lord. Whenever we hear the pastime, like Suvarna Manjari Mataji very beautifully narrated the pastime Mani Griva and Nalakuvera. So it brings about the sweetness of Krishna as well as the mercy of Krishna. It's just nectarian. So in this pastime, it showed how Lord is both sweet. At the same time, it also shows how Lord is great. And it shows the inconceivable nature of the Lord. So Lord, how he had this sweet exchanges with the Brajvasis when he was coiled, like he was stuck in the coils of the Kaliya, how Brajvasis, because of their love for Krishna, they were very worried, and they were out of separation, their love intensified. And Krishna was enjoying that loving exchange. But at the same time, he was giving his mercy to Kalia in different way. He was trying to take out the poison, take out the contamination out of Kalia. And that is the greatness of Krishna. And the Lord's lotus feet are soft like petals of lotus. And the pure devotees, they always aspire for the lotus feet of Lord. But those lotus feet, which are soft by nature, appeared like hard thunderbolt to Kalia. He was crying in pain and misery. And when he surrendered to Lord, he was immediately relieved from suffering. Prabhupada also, Srila Prabhupada gives example of how death of a devotee is like a cat holding kitten in her mouth, very gentle. But to a non-devotee, it is like a cat holding a rat. There is a lot of suffering. So in this pastime, Kalia represents pride, envy, and maliciousness. So we cannot, so this Kalia was contaminated with all of this. And Krishna, with his dancing, he took out all contamination from the heart of Kalia. Because we cannot surrender until there is poison in our heart in form of anarthas. Our heart is also filled with poison. First, we need to get rid of anarthas by surrendering voluntarily. Otherwise, we will be forced to spit that poison in form of suffering. Surrendering to Lord through his devotees humbles us. And only when we are humble, Lord will accept us. Like in this pastime, we saw how when Kalia was humbled and when Kalia realized the Lord's position, then he surrendered. Immediately, he was relieved out of suffering. The Nectar of Instructions, text 1 also says that the realization starts from tongue. We must first control our power to speak. And if we are not speaking Krishna consciousness, then we are speaking nonsense. We are spreading poison through non-Krishna conscious talk. Either we are if we criticize or if we speak mundane talks, in some way we are spreading poison. But if we control our tongue, then if we talk about Krishna, then all our senses eat prasadam, then all our senses are controlled automatically, because all senses are lying in the same line. The tongue, belly, genitals, they all are controlled. And with controlled tongue, by eating Krishna prasadam, chanting sincerely, Krishna dances on our tongue and he also purifies us. Though Kalia was in the mode of ignorance, he received lotus feet of Lord and Lord personally danced on him. But we are conditioned souls. Lord will not come personally for us, but he has given his mercy in form of his devotees. And we can receive the dust of lotus feet of Lord through his devotees. And then we can get free from the material existence. Another thing that this pastime talks about is the territorial nature of Kalia. The Kalia had territorial nature. In earlier life also, he was Rishi named Vedashira, and he refused to share his place for meditation with Rishi Ashvashira. As a result, he became a snake. We also have to give up the territorial mentality, mind mentality. Especially I'm talking about myself in this pastime. Everything belongs to Krishna. We are only servants of the Lord. When we start owning things, we become proud. And when we become proud, Lord puts us in a situation where our pride is crushed, and we are fortunate to have devotees who let us know our position as a servant and try to take us out from this master mentality so that we can attain the Lord. My realization from this, when I was reading this pastime, what I thought is how the interaction with devotees is important, because without that, we will not be able to find out our contamination. I didn't know what anartha means. I didn't know what contamination of heart is until I met with devotees and they shared how we should come to this platform. What are the anarthas? And it is very important. So only with devotees association, we get knowledge about our anarthas, knowledge about how we have this mentality. And when we have the knowledge and when we surrender, then and we surrender with devotion and voluntarily we surrender, then we also get liberated like Kalia. Thank you very much, devotees, for giving this opportunity. Happy Janmashtami to all, and forgive any mistake that I may have made during this presentation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, that was so beautiful. The narration of Kalia, how he was subdued, and you beautifully narrated how the Vrajvasis felt when they saw Krishna. Krishna Prabhu, you're able to hear me? I think my internet went down. You're able to hear? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was so heart melting to hear how the Vrajvasis felt for Krishna when they saw Krishna at the Kalia. And I just learned today that Kalia had like 1,000 hoods and Krishna was on all of them. Just such a beautiful pastime. Thank you, Mataji, and thank you for sharing such a wonderful realization. We all have to learn that, and we're so fortunate that we have so many devotees and devotees associations. So thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you.
With that, next we have Mittal Mataji. Mittal Mataji will be presenting from chapter 32, Krishna Returns to the Gopis. Hare Krishna, Mittal Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Veena Mataji, do you want to share your screen?
Sure, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much, Satyasara Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity. And now, as always, to Veena Mataji and Sridevi Mataji, Kanan Prabhu for motivating me and helping me through this. So I'm going to talk about Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, 32-16. And I'm going to start by narrating the shloka. The Shri Gopya Uchu Bhajato nu bhajantyeka eka etat viparyaya no bhayamscha bhajantyeka etan no buddhi sadhubo. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The gopis said, some people reciprocate the affection only of those who are affectionate towards them, while others show affection even to those who are indifferent or inimical, and yet others will not show affection towards anyone. Dear Krishna, please properly explain this matter to us. So we all know that Krishna and Gopi, they got together for the Rasa dance, and the Rasa dance, it took place on the full moon night of the Sharad season. Now, Krishna is the superior personality of Godhead. And so, of course, Krishna does not have any desires because he is always full with the 6 opulences of beauty, knowledge, strength, wealth, fame, and renunciation. So there was no need for Krishna to desire any love from gopis, or there was no reason for him to go meet them. But because gopis were devotees of Krishna, the Lord wanted to do this pastime of meeting the gopis. So the Lord employed his Yogmaya potency and manifested within himself the desire to enjoy the pastime during that night. And that's why Lord Krishna started playing the flute. And as soon as the gopis heard the sound of the flute, they just could not stop themselves. They abandoned all the activities they were doing and they just ran towards Krishna to meet him. Now, during the Rasa dance, Krishna was just 8 years old, and most of the gopis were also married. So they had family, husbands, children. So they just left whatever work they were doing as soon as they heard Krishna's Basuri and just ran to meet him. Gopis were very attracted towards Krishna, and they always wanted Krishna to be their husband. They even did the Katyani Devi Puja and asked for Krishna to be their husband. But since they were already married, but it was their natural tendency to have Krishna as their husband, the relationship between the gopis and Krishna, as Prabhupada explains, is called the Parakya Rasa. And it's very important that we don't look at this dance as any association that we see between boys and girls in material nature. So it's very important that our heart is cleansed enough to understand the actual importance of this association between Krishnas and the gopis. And I think for that same reason, it's very important to understand who the gopis were. Gopis were not just ordinary devotees like us. As it's explained in the Padma Purana, Gopayastu Shrutayagneya Rishi Jagopa Kanyaka Deva Kanyascha Rajendra Na Manushya Kathanchana. So it is understood that some of the gopis are personified Vedic literature, while others are reborn sages, daughters of cowherds or demigod maidens. But by no means, my dear king, any of them are ordinary human beings. So we have to understand that gopis are great devotees of Krishna, and even such great devotees can sometimes be in trouble, because when they had a chance to associate with Krishna and Krishna was spending so much time with them, dancing and singing with them, they became very proud of themselves because they were receiving a lot of attention from Krishna. And each one of them thought that, wow, I am the best woman on the earth. And Krishna, being Krishna, he's very merciful. So he thought, well, I have to get rid of this pride. So he decided to immediately disappear. And as soon as Krishna disappeared, Gopi realized that they cannot take it. They were really overwhelmed by the feelings of separation from Krishna. And they started chanting his name and praying Krishna and singing his glories. And again, Krishna, being very merciful, did come back to them and finally manifested himself in midst of the gopis. Now, of course, when someone very dear is gone and he comes back suddenly, gopis were very, very happy and joyous, and they just could not express their feeling, but they were so happy because their grief was gone and all their lamenting in absence of Krishna was relieved. Because once you receive superior personality of Godhead, then you have no other desires. And gopis were so lucky that they had received Lord Krishna. So to show the mercy, Lord Krishna came back, and then gopis, they basically cleared the sand out and created a nice seat for Krishna Bhagwan to sit. So Krishna Bhagwan sat there, and to show his mercy, he was sitting next to each one of the gopis. Now, of course, we might think, how is that possible? But Krishna being Krishna, he is the Ishvara. And like in Bhagavad Gita, it said, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddhir Shejuna Tishtati. Lord is the super soul, and he's seated in everybody's heart. Krishna also manifested this potency by expanding himself as Paramatma in the gatherings of the gopis. So Krishna was sitting by side of each gopi, unseen by the others. And he was so kind to them that instead of sitting in their heart, which the gopis would have to realize by yogic meditation, he was sitting right next to them. Now, of course, the gopis were very happy to see Krishna, but they were also hurt a little bit because he just left them without any notice, because they had this pride and they were getting egoistic. So by asking this question to Krishna politely, they are in a way trying to expose Lord Krishna's failure to reciprocate properly their love. And hence the question they are asking is, like, there are three categories of people. So who would be the best according to you, Krishna? That's the questions the gopis are asking. So the first category is a person who simply reciprocates to the loving dealings of the other party. are basically, Prabhupada tells that they are basically like merchants. So if you love them, they are going to love you back. So it's like, it's no use, because it's like doing some type of business. The second category is a person who loves in spite of the opposite party's contrariness. So of course, these people are better than the first category. And the example given is when father and mother love their children in spite of the child's neglect. The third category is a person that neither reciprocates nor neglects. And it's explained that there are two types of people in this category. One who are self-satisfied person, also called as Atmaramas, and the other are ungrateful persons. Now, Atmarama are so absorbed in the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that they really don't care if someone loves them or not. They are good in their own way. Like they say, they are must in their own thoughts. And ungrateful men, also called callous men, are people who just don't care because they are callous. An example Prabhupada gives is of a son who, in spite of receiving all kinds of things from parents, may be callous and not reciprocate. So when Krishna hears this question, Krishna is answering back and telling the gopis, he says that being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is self-satisfied. But even though he is the Supreme Lord, he is not ungrateful. So he says that sometimes I appear lost to the devotees because that helps the devotees develop more loving sentiments for the Lord. So Krishna says to gopis that please don't think that I treat you like I treat my ordinary devotees. I know you are very special. You have come here and forsaken all types of social and religious obligations, and you have come to me, and there is no way I can pay back your love and everything, that all the love you have shown to me. And Krishna even says that he cannot show enough gratitude for their love even throughout the lifetime of the demigods in the heavenly planets. I think that's a very big statement. So he's asking gopis that they should be very pleased and satisfied by their exemplary character, because it's not possible for Krishna to repay their debt to them. I think this is a very beautiful narration, and it just brings a lot of joy, but also makes us understand that usually we are someone who is always praising Lord because he is Lord and full of opulences. But here Lord is praising the gopis, and usually we say that Krishna is ours, but here Krishna himself says that the gopis are him. So we should try to develop characters like the gopi and ask for Lord's mercy. And in this auspicious occasion of Janmashtami, we've been hearing all stories about Krishna Bhagwan, and it is of course very auspicious because people who have Krishna's mercy and the Guru's mercy, only those are the people who are interested in Krishna Katha. And why it's important to listen to Krishna Katha is because it helps increase our love for Krishna and also understand his transcendental nature and his appearance. Like in Bhagavad Gita, they say, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tvaktva deham punar janma naiti mamiti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearances and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material nature, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So when we listen to Krishna Katha and Krishna's story, it helps increase our love for Krishna. And hopefully we'll get at a point where we don't have to come back in this material world. And the other lesson we learn is that the devotional service manifested by the people of Vrindavana is the perfect type of devotion. And Prabhupada here uses 2 words to explain how the devotional service should be. And he says that devotional service should be ahetuki and apratihata, which means that it should be motiveless, without any cause. So we should not worship Krishna because we want something back. It is because we should worship him out of our love. And of course, it is our obligation to serve him. And it should be without any impediments. That is, it should be continuous on a regular basis. And I feel very blessed that I have a chance of associating with all the devotees like you who really motivate me to listen more Krishna Katha and give me this opportunity. So I'm really thankful for that. Hare Krishna. Please excuse me if I said anything wrong. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mittal Mataji. That was very, very beautiful. You so nicely explained the relation between Krishna and the gopis, and who the gopis are and what their love for Krishna is. And yes, our heart should be cleansed. Only then will we understand this relation. And finally, the 2 points that you made, that our service that we do to Lord should be motiveless, should be not for getting something, but it should be out of love. And ultimately, it should be all the time, like 24/7. Think of Krishna, do everything for Krishna, and chant Krishna's name. Thank you, Mataji. That was a beautiful narration. With that, devotees, we come to the last segment of the program, and also the Krishna Kathamritam program. We have today Kannan Prabhu Sridevi Mataji presenting chapter 37, The Killing of the Demon Keshi and Vyoma. And Akshaya will also be presenting. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Mataji, are you seeing my screen, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, so you are seeing the entire screen. I'm sorry, Mataji. I want to share that. Are you seeing it now, Mataji?
It's loading. Yes, Prabhu, we are able to see.
Okay.
Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you, Swarna Manjuri Mataji, Rogini Mataji, and Mittal Mataji for the beautiful narration. So please accept my humble obeisance to you, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So thank you, Satyasara Prabhu, and Jai Subhadra Mataji, and Veena Mataji for giving us this wonderful opportunity to share our thoughts. Please forgive me if I make any mistake. So yeah, I would like to offer my prayers to Guru. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are going to discuss about Canto 10, Chapter 37, Text 10 and 11 from Srimad Bhagavatam. So now I am going to recite the sloka. Krishna Krishna Prameyatman Yogesha Jagadishwara Vasudeva Kila Vasa Sattvatam Prabhara Prabho Tvamatma Sarva Bhutanam Yeko Jodhiri Vaidasham Gudo Guhashayak Shakshi Mahapurusha Ishwaraha.
Translation. O Krishna, Krishna, unlimited Lord, source of all mystic power, Lord of the universe, O Vasudeva, shelter of all beings and best of the Yadus, O Master, you are the supreme soul of all created beings, sitting unseen within the cave of the heart, like the fire dormant within kindling wood. You are the witness within everyone, the supreme personality and the ultimate controlling deity.
So actually this verse is all about glorifying Krishna by Sri Narada Muni. So before we discuss about glorifying Krishna,
we will see the pastime of killing demon Kasi by Krishna. So Akshay will talk about this pastime, like of killing demon Kasi by Krishna.
Okay. After being instructed by Kamsa, the demon Kasi assumed the form of a terrible horse. He entered the area of Vrindavana with the speed of the mind, his great mane flying and his hoofs digging up the earth. He began to whinny and terrify the whole forest. Krishna saw the demon was frightening all the residents of Vrindavana with his whinnying and his tail wailing in the sky like a big cloud. Krishna could understand that the horse was challenging him to a fight. The Lord accepted his challenge and stood before the Kasi demon, calling him to fight. The horse then ran toward Krishna, making a horrible sound like a roaring lion, his jaws spread wide open as if to swallow the whole sky. Kasi rushed toward the Lord with great speed and tried to trample him with his legs, which were strong, forceful, and as hard as stone. Krishna, however, immediately caught hold of his legs and thus baffled him. Krishna was somewhat angry, and thus he began to whirl the horse around. After a few rounds, he mockingly threw him 100 yards away, just as Garuda throws a big snake. Thrown by Krishna, the horse immediately became unconscious, but after a little while, he regained consciousness, and with greater anger and force again, rushed towards Krishna with his mouth open. As soon as Kasi reached him, Krishna pushed his left arm within the horse's mouth. The horse felt great pain because Krishna's arm felt to him like a hot iron rod. Krishna's arm within the mouth of the horse at once began to expand, and Kasi's throat choked up. As the great horse suffocated, sweat appeared on his body, and he threw his legs here and there. Thus the vital force of his life expired. When the horse was dead, his mouth became loose, and Krishna could extract his arm without difficulty. He did not feel any surprise that the Kasi demon was killed so easily, but the demigods in the sky were amazed, and out of their great appreciation, they offered Krishna greetings by showering flowers.
So after this pastime, Narada Muni appeared and glorified Krishna. So Narada Muni, the greatest of all devotees, said, "My dear Lord Krishna, you are the unlimited super soul, the supreme controller of all mystic powers, the Lord of the whole universe, the all-pervading personality of Godhead. So you are the resting place of the cosmic manifestation, the master of all devotees and the Lord of everyone." So here we should notice that Narada was saying master of all, including demigods as well. So Narada Muni continued, "My dear Lord, as a super soul of all living entities, you remain concealed within their hearts, exactly as fire remains concealed in every piece of fuel. So you are self-sufficient. So before the creation, you existed, and by your energy, you have created all the material elements. So according to your perfect plan, this material world is created by the interaction of the modes of nature, and by you, it is maintained and annihilated. Although you are unaffected by all these activities, you are the supreme controller eternally. So you protected many devotees, and you also saved the son of a Brahmana from death, and you also killed the Paundraka demon. So you are the one protected everyone from suffering. My Lord, let me offer my respectful obeisance unto your lotus feet." So what I realized from Narada prayer and Krishna's pastime is, Krishna is the only protector and no one else. So Satyasara Prabhu also said in many classes, like we have to have unflinching faith towards Krishna. Only unflinching faith will bring out unconditional love. So if we do not have faith in someone, then we cannot love them unconditionally. So we love our kids unconditionally, no matter what they do. Like Hanuman is the best example for unconditional love. So if you have unconditional love towards Krishna, that will bring out perfect knowledge of Krishna. So which helps us to chant and also do our devotional services properly. So if we do all this, then 100% sure Krishna will protect us from all sufferings. So now Kannan will talk about Vyomashura pastime.
Hare Krishna devotees. I will finish up this within 5 minutes. Sorry, we may go a little 1 or 2 minutes late. I'm going to talk about this Vyamasura pastime. Krishna and his cowherd boyfriends, they were playing on the top of the hill one day, and when they were playing really great. But the theme of this game is, it is like a hide and seek kind of, thief and police. So some boys, they assumed as a police, and someone take the role of thieves, and some, took the role of lamb. So what the game is, the thieves, they have to steal the lamps and hide them, and the police will detect, where the lamps, and they have to catch the thieves, and they have to punish them, and they have to release the lamps also. That's the theme of this game. But the Vyamasura, he is a demon, and he has a really good magic power. Because of that, he can transform to any image he wants. So what he did, he transformed it, he changed his shape into one of the cowherd by, it like a thief. So he took the role of the thieves, and he was, taking the lamps one after another. He is, the lamb boys, the cowherd boys were thinking that, this is also part of the game, because they did not know that, Vyamasura is, changing. The demon came into this play and changed his image, like the shape as a cowherd boy. So, but, Vyamasura took almost all the lambs and all the boys and put them in the cave. But Vyamasura did not understand that, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. But, Krishna knows all those things. He cannot escape from Krishna. And Krishna went and, hold the Vyamasura like a lion is holding the lamb. So, but, Vyamasura, wanted to escape from that hold. So he expanded like a hill, but still Krishna was, holding tightly, and, Krishna threw him on the floor and killed the Vyamasura at once. So it is very easy for, Krishna. And then Krishna went and released all the boys from the cave also. So this is the beautiful story. But what I learned from this story is, here the Vyamasura did not know that, the Krishna's potency. Krishna is the controller of everything. So Vyamasura was, thinking that I can hide all the boys without knowing everything. But, Krishna knows that, and he was caught. But, so we are thinking that, the Vyamasura is a demon. But if you look at ourselves, maybe I can compare myself. We also have a lot of bad qualities, and we hide them within our heart, within ourselves. So when we project ourselves in the material world with other jivas, we show them that, we are great people, but internally we hide jealous, we hide ego, we hide our self-pride, we hide our lust feelings, and everything we hide within ourselves. But, outside world, we were showing that, as a good people, we can, when you compare with Vyamasura, we are the worst. I should say I am the worst, because at least Vyamasura is a demon. We know that, the demon's default character, they are always in the ignorance mode. So we can understand that. But we project as a good human being, but we have a lot of anarthas within our heart. So how do we come out of these things? The only way, Srila Prabhupada and, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us some good practices like, chanting. Chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra every time, and your anarthas will go away. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So chant this mantra, your anarthas, your, egos, jealousy, and everything, even if it is not going away completely, you will see the difference. It will reduce. So, and the basic thing is, we have to surrender to Krishna, and we need to do a lot of services for Krishna. Janmashtami is approaching. So please volunteer and do the most services as much as you can, and chant as much as you can. Your anarthas guaranteed will go away from your heart. Thank you. Happy Janmashtami to everyone.
Happy Janmashtami. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Kannan Prabhu, Sri Devi Mataji, and Akshaya. That was a very nice, very beautiful narration of killing of the demon Keshi and Vyomasura. Y'all pictured the whole pastime in front of the eyes past, and also connected it with Janmashtami and how important it is to do devotional service. It was really wonderful. Thank you very much. With that, devotees, we conclude the Krishna Kathamritam program. We have one final announcement to make, and the most important announcement. Janmashtami is on August 30th. So please, all of you all join us in celebrating the appearance day of Lord Krishna. So the programs start at 5 o'clock, and we have both online programs and temple programs. The temple attractions will start from 5 o'clock. It will go up to 10 o'clock. And in temple, we will have Abhishek, Aarti, Gomata Darshan, Vrindavan village. And so the whole temple is going to be decorated like Vrindavan village. Being right here in Austin, we can get the experience of how Vrindavan will be. We have hearts, swings, well, Gopa Gopis. The whole atmosphere is going to give us a feeling like Krishna being in Vrindavan. And there's going to be Julan. And Kannan Prabhu and Sri Devi Mataji have told about mantra meditation, the chanting booths, and many of you all have registered for it. So thank you so much. Request others to register as well. And we'll have some Indian stalls, gift items. All of this will be there along with a very delicious and a lot of variety of prasadam. So request all of you all to come to the temple from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock whenever possible. And it's all going to be outdoor, socially distant. Everyone's going to be in mask. So we'll be following all the COVID safety protocols. And quickly on the online programs, it will be at the same time, 5 o'clock we'll start. But online will be up to 12:30 a.m. because we have midnight Aarti at 12 o'clock. And we have very special speakers. His Holiness, Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Maharaj's class will be 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It will be very auspicious to get Maharaj's association. Kindly request all of you to join online class that time. And then world famous Kirtanar, His Grace, Swarup Damodar Prabhu, will be doing a very heartfelt, blissful Kirtan. It will be very nice to hear Prabhu. It will be from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And in between, we'll have so many cultural programs, kids and grown-up devotees. They all have put 2 months of hard effort and come up with so many cultural programs, dance, dramas, sloka recitations, bhajans, kirtans. It'll be extremely auspicious. And request all of you all to come to the temple, attend online, and also please tell your friends and neighbors. It'll be very nice for them as well to experience this whole Janmashtami. It'll be something that they will all remember. And please come to temple. Radha Krishna deities will be there, and y'all can get the blessings of the deities. With that, thank you all so much for joining the Krishna Kathamritam program today, and see you all on Janmashtami. Thank you very much. Happy advance wishes on Janmashtami. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Veena Mataji. I just wanted to quickly thank all the speakers today. Swarna Manjari Mataji, Mithil Mataji, Rohini Mataji, Kannan Prabhu, Akshaya, and Sri Devi Mataji. Wonderful narration of the past times. It was fantastic. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Veena Mataji for her selfless service and services that she has been doing for years, and especially this particular program, Krishna Kathamritam, selflessly coordinating with all the devotees and scheduling the programs and running the programs for last few days. And the planning she has been planning this for last 1 month or so. Thank you very much, Mataji, because your service is to set the right mood for all of us, to welcome Janmashtami. So very, very unconditional selfless service. Thank you very much for that. So with that, I would like to request all of you to please visit our humble temple. It's outdoor, as Veena Mataji described. A lot of events, a lot of cultural activities we have planned. So please come and take part and get the blessings of Laddu Gopal. We are going to have Laddu Gopals also there. We're going to do Abhishek, and they will give darshan, and of course Radha Krishna deities will be there as well. Thank you very much everyone for joining, and see you all. August 30 is not very far. It is next Monday. So next Monday evening, we'll see you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.